Some men work hard because they're disciplined. Other men work hard because they're ashamed. Let's talk about that. There's a kind of exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix. You can go to bed early, you can get 8 hours, but you still wake up tired. Not physically, internally. Because the thing driving your effort is not purpose, it's shame. And shame is a powerful motivator. It will make a man work very hard, but it will never make him peaceful. And a lot of men believe that if they just push harder, produce more, fix more, provide more, eventually they will feel secure. Eventually they will feel respected. Eventually they will feel like they've proven themselves. But the problem is this: if shame is driving the engine, the finish line never moves closer. Because shame is not satisfied by accomplishment, it always asks for more. So a man works longer hours. He tries to be more impressive. He tries to solve everyone else's problems. He tries to become indispensable. He tries to outrun the feeling that he isn't enough. But inside, something still feels unsettled. Because shame doesn't disappear when you succeed. It just moves the standard. And you see this pattern everywhere. Men who cannot slow down. Men who feel guilty when they rest. Men who cannot enjoy what they built. Men who constantly feel like they are one mistake away from losing everything. Not because they are irresponsible, but because somewhere deep down they believe, I have to prove my value. And that belief is heavy because it turns life into a constant performance. You are not living, you are presenting. You are managing the image of yourself. Trying to make sure nobody sees the parts you're afraid of. Trying to make sure you stay ahead of the judgment you think is coming. But here's the quiet truth most men eventually discover. You cannot build peace on top of performance. You can build success, you can build income, you can build reputation, but you cannot build peace. Because peace only comes when the internal accusation stops. And this is where a lot of men get stuck. They think the solution is to stop working, but that's not the answer. Work itself is not the problem. Work can be meaningful. Work can be honorable. Work can be even enjoyable. The problem is the reason behind the work. Are you building something, or are you trying to escape something? A man who is driven by shame works to silence a voice inside him. A man who is steady works because he knows who he is. Those are very different things. The outside activity can look the same, and both men may work hard. Both may build things. Both may provide, but internally, the experience is completely different. The man driven by shame never feels finished. The man who is steady can stop working and still feel whole because his identity is not tied to his output. And this is where faith becomes more than a religious idea. It becomes freedom. Because the message of Christ was never prove yourself worthy. It was the opposite. It was grace. Grace removes the accusation. Grace removes the constant need to perform. Grace tells the truth about who you are, both the broken parts and the redeemed parts. And once a man understands that, he stops working to prove his value. He starts working from a place of peace, and that changes everything. It changes how you lead your family. It changes how you handle pressure. It changes how you respond to criticism. It even changes how you rest. Because you're no longer trying to outrun the past. You've already faced it. You've already owned it. You've already placed it where it belongs. That's what steadiness looks like. Not perfection, not endless productivity, but steadiness, the ability to work hard without being driven by fear, the ability to rest without feeling guilty, the ability to live honestly instead of perform constantly. A lot of men are exhausted today, not because they're weak, but because they are trying to carry something that was never meant to drive them. Shame is a terrible engine. It produces effort, but it never produces peace. And eventually, every man has to decide something. Is my life going to be driven by proving myself or by knowing who I already belong to? Because those two roads lead to very different lives. If this conversation resonates with you, stay with me. Because in the next episodes, we're going to keep unpacking what it actually means to become a steady man. Not a perfect man, a steady one.